I'm a craftsman of mother of pearl inlay. I'm very proud of the patterns I've created. It's not easy to do it. This craftwork, mother of pearl, it's been around for 500 years, or from the end of the Ayutthaya period in history. Patterns in mother of pearl were first found on doorways of Wat Parum Puttaram temple in Ayutthaya. Nowadays, its popularity is spread throughout the general population. You can find it everywhere now. The original ancient process starts with designing the motifs, which have to be very clear and specific. That's because when you cut the shells, the shapes have to be very fine and are able to be separated. I was born and raised in this community, Bua Bak Ta in Bang Leng district. My family were originally farmers, but we were also interested in the field of art. I ended up studying arts and crafts at a vocational school. I studied international sculpture. You can form the base for mother of pearl from many different materials, such as wood or metal, but here we make it from rattan. This step is where we sharpen the rattan. It can be quite dangerous and also determines the quality of the end product. Rattan is good because it's so light. It's easy to hold when we're working on the mother of pearl. The ancient people used pins to hold the rattan in place when bending it into shape. So this is what it looks like when it's all finished. Now we start working on the shells. The shells used for mother of pearl since ancient times, the local artisans called nautilus shells or fire pearls in Thai. These shells we have to cut up and polish them down to a thickness of about a coin. Once I graduated from college, I couldn't find any work, so I came back to the farm to help my parents. Sculpting wasn't exactly a field that offered a lot of jobs at the time. Either that or I wasn't that good at it. I just couldn't find any decent work to do. I was under a lot of pressure from those around me. It really got to me deep inside. One day I saw an ad for a special course sponsored by the king, which interested me. I quit farming and studied to be a mother of pearl craftsman. This part, carving out the pieces, requires perseverance and patience because you've got to sit for a long time. I designed this motif and I've got to make these pieces fit the motif as much as I can. After we've carved them all out, we come to the next stage, which we call the filling stage. We take lacquer and mix it with dried banana leaves. The craftsmen call it raksamu. We have a special way with the fire. When we burn the leaves, we ensure the fire isn't too hot, otherwise the ash will end up grey, not a jet black colour as we want it. When the ashes have cooled, we pound them in a stone mortar into a fine powder. Natural lacquer comes out a brownish colour, but when it comes into contact with air, it blackens. Then we add the black ash. It's perfect for the work that we're doing. Then we start the filling. We have to give it more than one coat, wait for it to dry, polish it, then apply another coat, polish it again. We keep doing this until the lacquer is completely level with the shells and smooth. This is one design I created myself. There are so many different designs and motifs for mother of pearl, such as the more traditional and conservative patterns. Like this one. It comes from a door made by craftsmen from 250 years ago at the beginning of the Ratanakosin era. But you can make up your own patterns. Here's a design I created myself called the Bua Bang Lane motif. I try to think up new designs and motives according to demand, as well as my own desire to create something new and unusual. The Bua Bang Lane motif was inspired by local lotus flowers. The name Bua Bang Lane is a mixture of the word Bua, which is Thai for lotus, and the name of our district, Bang Lane. In particular, the Bua Bak Ta community there. This motif gives me the most pride. It reflects our way of life and way of thinking, and I can capture all that in my artwork. After I've applied the lacquer, I've got to wait until it's thoroughly dried, and that's when we start the cutting and the polishing process. You've got to pay attention to all the detail. It's important to polish the lacquer down until it shines. We take dried banana leaves and dip them in oil and then polish them until they positively sparkle. The real beauty of these pieces lies in the colour of the shells. And there it is, the finished product. This container is what ancient people called a jiet, and it's made up of so many tiny little pieces. It's like putting together a jigsaw. It can have up to 10,000 pieces. I can make 100 or 1,000 of these pieces, but if the new generation isn't interested in continuing the craft, what a pity that the Bua Bang Lane design will have to eventually die out.